One of my favorite things about traveling, especially solo traveling, is meeting new people and just learning about their lives, about their upbringings, about their different cultures, just about their story. It is something that I am always really curious about. However, I consider myself a bit of an extroverted introvert. I can feel a little bit socially awkward, especially around new people, which some people might not realize when they first meet me. Being in new environments and meeting new people is actually pretty anxiety inducing for me, mainly because, I don't know, personally, recharging my social battery, it looks like time in solitude, with no external stimulation, or time with loved ones that I feel really deeply connected to and trust. Like, I have zero social battery for my really close friends, like, because I can just coexist with them. I could have my social battery can be on zero and I can still feel connected to myself. Whereas when I'm with new people, I feel like I'm constantly on and can really struggle to authentically relate. So if you really resonate with this, you love to travel, or just in your day-to-day life want to learn how to connect with people authentically, I've written down some, I suppose, tips or just ways in which I move through life when my intention is to meet new people. I've used all these tools in my home, like where I live, and also while exploring, and it's a list that is ever evolving and ever growing, shaped by the season of life I'm in. And there's a few things that I've added from this trip that I'm currently on in Bali, because I've learned so much about my social battery, about my social awkwardness. And it's definitely a big intention of mine for the new year to develop more skills and learn how to connect deeply with people. So if this is you, I have some tools and tips that I would love to share. First of all, this one is more travel specific, and I'm currently paying for it with a bit of social burnout, but I'd really delegate a couple of days to socializing or just exploring, traveling around, and then following that, a few days of just rest, of doing nothing or doing life admin. This trip, I was definitely doing each day, and maybe had 1 or 2 days throughout the whole month where I actually was doing nothing, which sounds wild as someone who really tries to embody slow living and definitely shares that online. There's definitely moments throughout my days where I am tuning into my body. I have my morning rituals and my evening rituals. That is all flowing, but is consistent in its own unique flavor each day. But I would definitely, if you're a sensitive being like me, really delegate time for socializing and exploring, and then following that, delegating a few days, like an equal amount of days to the days that you were really busy, to just rest, which doesn't always feel accessible while you're traveling. So definitely take that if you can, if it's available to you, but is definitely something I'll be doing moving forward, because it's just not realistic for me to maintain a sense of connection to myself while I'm so out in the world. I'm so external. I'm doing all day, every day, rather than kind of time blocking it, but like day blocking it. So that's something that I'm learning, that I haven't written down, but I've just been like, this is for me, really. This is a lesson I'm learning. I just wanted to share as well that some of my closest friends I have met while solo traveling, and it is so rewarding meeting people from, like I said, all corners of the world, and just being like our paths were meant to cross. You are a piece of me, I'm a piece of you, and it's just the most beautiful feeling. Although what doesn't feel great is the whole long distance bestie scenario. But you make it work, you really make it work. And I just wanted to share that it is so beautiful, really putting yourself out there and just trusting that your people are there. If you're out there exploring the world and that is what you value and that is what you're calling in, it will come back to you. It's just how it works. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I'm very passionate about energetic hygiene, and that looks different for everybody. However, for me, it looks like having a morning practice, an evening practice, morning ritual, evening ritual, however you like to call it. And I like to kind of break it up a little bit. I like to do some grounding, and lately I've been loving Qigong. Been doing some yin yoga and some meditation, which sounds like a lot, but you could do these for 5 minutes each, and it can be a 15-minute morning ritual, or you could choose to do it longer if you have time. But I really find that grounding into my body before I go exploring, before I go connecting with other people, that has been really, really beautiful and soothing for my nervous system as well. After I ground, I really like to call in protection, to genuinely visualize like an iridescent golden energetic shield around me. This can look like anything. This is just a practice that I've been really loving, and just calling in protection from the spirits of the land, from your ancestors, your guides, whoever you believe in, God, and really inviting in that protective energy. There's something really beautiful and comforting about prayer. It can manifest in so many beautiful different ways, and yeah, I definitely have been incorporating that this year in particular. There's something really nurturing and safe about having connection to something other than yourself, something greater than yourself. I've personally found that a really important part of my daily practice when traveling, and I've received nothing but blessings on this trip. I have not been sick. I have not caught Bali belly. I have just made some incredible friends and connections, and yeah, I just feel really, really protected and safe. Another really simple practice I love doing, and I do all of this, by the way, at home as well. I do the grounding, I do the calling in, the intention setting. I also love to do a cleansing. So in the morning, I will cleanse myself with like incense or Palo Santo or whatever you have. And in the evenings, or whenever you like to shower, either morning or night, I just envision the water of the shower cleansing me, removing anything that's stuck or stagnant, or anything that isn't mine to hold, any karmic cords or entanglements that are no longer serving. I just imagine them simply flowing away with the water. Little mundane things, little ordinary routines like this, like showering, like drinking water. You can imagine the water cleansing you, or I love to pour intention over a cup of tea or over a glass of water. Those little moments of mundanity can become sacred. And once we choose to move from that place of really seeing the magic and the sacred in the ordinary, you move through life more poetically, more intentionally. Even when life feels really boring or mundane, choosing to see those acts as beautiful and poetic has been a real gentle medicine. It allows me to not chase pleasure, to hold off for the holiday or hold off for this event to feel a certain type of way. It allows me to experience the fullness of each moment, regardless of where I am, regardless of what I'm doing. This is a little bit of a tangent, I'm sorry, but use your shower as a cleansing ritual and you'll feel great. Oh God. I'm a very devout believer that putting yourself in the places where the people that you want to attract will inevitably call in and attract your ideal connections, your ideal people. For me, this looks like going to a yoga class and showing up a little bit earlier and offering a smile to someone, maybe starting a conversation. Even just like offering a smile to someone and, perhaps receiving a smile in return is a little bit of an energetic opening. So then maybe after the class, you can go up to the person that you shared that smile with and be like, how was that flow for you? Or I'm new to this place. Can you recommend any other yoga studios, or is there a cafe close by? And then that can lead to further connection. I also really love doing local workshops and cultural immersion as well. So I think those are really beautiful ways that I have personally met really good friends in the past. One time when I was staying at a hostel in Thailand, I was just sitting down in the kind of communal area and I was painting. And I did this because I felt a little bit shy, but I knew it was a very creative hostel and there was a lot of really like beautiful people around that I really wanted to connect with. But I felt really shy and I could see that some people were looking at me, and that was a kind of offering. I was like, hey, do you want to join? Do you want to paint something? You know? So I think little things like that is a really beautiful way to potentially open up a new connection. I'm someone who values cultural travel and regenerative tourism and experiencing the local culture in ways that are perhaps less explored by tourists. I find that Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups are amazing ways to find out about local events, or even if you want to connect with fellow travelers and expats. There's so many Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups out there, which is something I didn't really realize. This might be something that's maybe a little bit more obvious to the experienced traveler, but this is something that I didn't know. And along my journeys, a lot of people also haven't known. So there's definitely ways you can meet people through social media. As I mentioned previously, I do feel quite socially anxious and socially awkward. And sometimes when I am feeling a little bit lonely and perhaps a little bit more confident to connect with someone, I will just make that one intention for my day to make friendly eye contact with someone and to offer a smile. And perhaps, like I mentioned in the previous example at the yoga studio, perhaps that will lead to a conversation, or perhaps that will just strengthen that trust muscle a little bit, that you're capable of just even connecting with someone gesturally and really leaving that channel open for further connection. As someone who really lives by my cycle and tries to stay in tune with it as much as I can while traveling, I definitely like to sync my social life, my socialization with my cycle. So I will avoid, or I suppose engage in less physically taxing or honestly, even emotionally taxing social experiences right before my bleed, during my luteal, mid to late luteal, especially during my menstrual cycle. I will tend to resort to a bit more solitude. So I would definitely lean into this if you can, if that's accessible to you, if you are a bleeding woman. If not, really tune into your body and ask yourself, what season am I in right now? What is my inner season? What does that look like? Am I feeling really vibrant and expansive and magnetic and excited and ready to meet new people? Or am I feeling a little bit tired? Am I feeling a little bit overwhelmed? Does my body need rest? That's something I really love tuning into. Sometimes it's not always accessible to you. Sometimes your travel plans go against your cycle. And I think, as I mentioned previously, finding those little sacred moments within the ordinary, those little pockets of time throughout the day where you're able to just tune into your breath. That's all you have access to. That is all that needs to be done. I believe that might be all I have to share now about authentically relating and forming deep connections while solo traveling. A big part of it, especially if you're a woman, is listen to your body, trust your intuition. There's obviously a lot of, unfortunately, bad people out there who don't have our best interests at heart. And I think, as someone who has definitely been a little bit too trusting in the past, I really strongly suggest for you to find little ways to connect with your intuition. For me, that looks like having days where I have no external stimulation, which means no music, no media, nothing, and I am just listening and allowing for whatever needs to come up. That for me is like a little way I strengthen my intuition muscle. It was actually recommended by an astrologer that I really love, Jules Ferrari. She strongly recommends just days of silence, silent walks, solitude as a way to really tune into your intuition. So I really, really value that practice as well, just for my own emotional and energetic safety. I just want to say thank you so much for being here, for tuning in, for following along if you have been. I really value your presence and your openness to learn and your curiosity about making new friends, forming deeper connections, especially while traveling. And I'm sending you so many blessings. And yeah, I never know how to end videos. I'm always like, bye. Bye. See ya. Oh, I need a matcha.